Welcome to It Takes a Village, the show where we celebrate the people who make our games. Today, I shall be talking to Jade Leamcharaskul. She is a Thai Chinese-Malaysian composer, orchestrator, an arranger, and game audio producer. A Game Dev Heroes Award winner for sound in 2020, a BAFTA member, multiple-time juror for Best Music Audio Achievement for BAFTA, D.I.C.E, and the Ivor Novello Awards. She has a background in piano, music technology, Indonesian Gamelan, and Japanese Taiko drumming. Her work spans across media from exhibitions, game music at the Globe, the V&A Museum, to theatre, Asian pirate musical, and games, BAFTA award-winning Tales of KENZERA, and Assassin's Creed Shadows. How are you, Jade? That's quite the list.
I'm really good. I'm really excited to have this proper chat with you. So thank you again for inviting me.
Welcome to the village. It's cozy here. We're going to have a good time.
So cozy.
We're going to start at the start, if that's all right. Take me through childhood, how you got interested in music, and if games was a thing for you, please mention that as well.
Yes. Okay. So, this is going to go way, way back. So I grew up in a typical Asian household, as in you are heavily encouraged to do all the extracurricular activities under the sun. So I had a background in piano and violin, obviously.
And where was this specifically?
I grew up in UK, but there was a point where we moved back to Malaysia and Thailand for a little bit. And family was just like not quite working out for us. So we moved back to UK and then I properly settled there.
Gotcha.
So that was like, schooling and all that. And you wouldn't believe this, but I was a very quiet child, like almost mute.
You and me both. Now look at us.
I know, just nonstop chattering all the way through. I was a very quiet kid. I did all my music classes and my dad bought me a PlayStation 1 as a well done present for like passing my grade 3 piano exam or something like that. So obviously I played like Croc, Spyro, and then Final Fantasy 7. And I was like, okay, this is very different from the platforming games that I played. Played 7, played 8, and then played 9. And I was really like, you know what? I really enjoyed film music, and the music of Final Fantasy is it's really good.
Yeah.
But the 9th game was the game where I had that childhood, whoa, I found my path. It was specifically at the end of disc 3. And I think the main character had the whole heroic journey of who am I? I'm not meant to be here. And then all of the characters and the friends were like, no, you're meant to be here. And the soundtrack playing in background was so emotionally impactful for me as a young kid. So I played that scene. I was like, okay, to restart it, replay that scene. I was just like, okay, now I'm really, really invested in the soundtrack, how it contributes to storytelling. And then ever since then, I was taking my lessons a bit more seriously. Well, to a certain degree, because at that stage, it was just play the same 3 pieces for 2 years, play your scales, do your sight reading. But, composition was kind of where I wanted to angle it. So I was like, okay, struggle through piano lessons, theory grades. And then in school, I did music technology because at that point, it was I guess the closest side subject I could do to game dev, not quite game dev. So I did that, did music tech in university, specifically went to Basketball University because I had a gamelan orchestra there. And I was another side, I guess, almost identical crisis because people were my teachers were okay, we have gamelan, which is a traditional music of Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. I was like, oh, I did not know that. And I'm Malaysian Thai. So I had a bit of I guess, identity crisis there. So that also set me in a path for trying to look more into Indonesian gamelan and then later down the line, Japanese taiko drumming. So there was this weird Venn diagram of classical music, doing music tech in university. My classmates were all dub heads. And then, and then gamelan on the side. So I'm whatever it is in the center of those 3 points. So I guess that makes up myself and my interest and how I approach things, I guess. Then chapter 2, how I got into game dev. I actually started out being an indie game developer. So I couldn't wait to write music for video games. So obviously the thing that I had to do was just like, okay, I'll make my own game. I made a few games by myself, all in Flash. This is showing my age now.
Wow.
Flash ActionScript 2, not 3. So I made my own games and then figured out that it was like, this is way, way too much. But it did give me I guess, the experience from ideas and concept into production and into, putting it online. And then that's how I got my first gig. They were more interested about the fact that I put together a little team and I did a game. And then that's how I got into game dev. How I became a chatterbox was more like a kind of a promise to myself, because people are like, oh, if you want to write music for games, you gotta you gotta talk to people, you gotta network. And I was, again, a really, really shy kid. So I made a promise to myself where like, okay, I will work on that aspect of my personality. So, going to the one event, talking to the one person, talking to 5 people, and then it eventually snowballed into myself organizing my own events and networking events. So that's me in a nutshell.
You did great.
Really.
You've covered a lot of the questions I was going to ask. So thank you
Oh,
very
sorry.
much. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Because some people, they find games later, or,
Yes,
they've had another career before. And it seems that you always known, I think, that Final Fantasy VII was so big for all of us. I mean,
Yes, yeah.
Graphically and musically, I'd never seen or had anything like that. And it's still, you look at it now and you go, oh, that's cute. But you remember what else was out at the time? And how it seemed to be years ahead of everything else. And it always has, Final Fantasy, that's always the hallmark for me is I get to see what the other games are going to be doing in about 5 years.
Yeah.
And have you ever been to those live concerts that they do? Is it what's it called? Can't remember, but New Worlds or something like that. But the Final Fantasy concert, is it the Royal Albert Hall in London? Yeah.
Yes, or like the Distant Worlds and all that.
Distant Worlds, that's it.
Yes, there it is. And again, it was just like the first time I went. Yes, that one.
Sorry,
as well.
It's always on the mind, obviously. Yeah, no, it was, and also just seeing, it's full of young nerds buying vinyl.
Yes.
Like, what's this about? And then they do the Sephiroth song. We all sing along in made up Latin. A friend of mine is in the Maid of Ale Singers, so she got a certificate a few years ago. Oh, yeah.
That's great.
And she's like, I don't know what we're singing, but it's so much fun. It said, you and me both. But yeah, no, it's such a great time, a community that I wouldn't even thought existed. And of course, now everyone's doing video game music live, which is wonderful. We need more of it because, it's, I think more than any other part of game dev, I think people are more willing to accept that the music in your games is made by the same people who put it in films and TV, and it's of the same standard,
Pretty much.
And Final Fantasy, I think, for me, and I'm not an expert, obviously, has scaled up so well with technology. Because obviously they're adapting stuff that wasn't done with full orchestras, but it sounds like it was always made like that. And I think it's just really wonderful, and I'm glad that it came to you at the right time because here you are now.
Yeah. Yes, haven't left the industry since.
Yeah. That's really wonderful. You mentioned that I met you at first time was Adventure X. I did a panel with, it's a while back, and you were one of the first speakers that day because I didn't know anyone in the room. I don't know why they asked me to do it. It was me, Sally Beaumont, Doug Cockle, Rolf Saxon, and I thought they're here for those guys. They're not here for me, but they were so kind. I'd done 2 games at that point. And I think you did one on, your talk was on sound in horror games. If I remember, is that right? It was a while ago,
Yes. It was more scary wallpaper, please, or something. That was a very specific, reference to a really old horror movie called The Haunting, and it's like 1963 or something like that.
Gotcha.
Black and white film. For some reason, it just zoomed in on the wallpaper, had like all these creepy audio going, and I got freaked out. I'm just like, nothing happened on screen. It was just the wallpaper, all the weird lighting things, and I was just like, we need more of that kind of storytelling.
Sound
so I did the whole thing.
It's so evocative in all our visual media, and I think in the magic of something like Alien. and I mean the games as well as the
gosh.
movies, is you don't see anything, you hear it. And of course your mind fills that in for
Fills
you.
in on the blanks, yeah. It's brilliant.
I remember that talk, and I know that you speak a lot in public. You do CV reviews, you put on dev meetups, you do so much for the community. And I just wanted to say thank you as part of that community, or you know, or the people that I've introduced to you. Then you know you've hooked them up with opportunities, and that. And not everyone does that. And it's just a really wonderful thing. And I'm glad we can say, hello, this person does good stuff in the games industry. No, it's really cool. I was going to talk a little bit about some of the games you've done. They've not always made it out there. So I'm not sure how I'm the same. I've worked on games that haven't quite made it out there. Like, is there anything you can talk about in terms of some, maybe the variety of work, the sort of work that you've done on them?
Yeah. So yeah, I've always wanted to write music for games, but then like I guess my diet of games is mostly JRPGs or just RPGs in general, because the soundtrack is so expansive and it's so focused on storytelling. But obviously finding a project where, you know, it's the right time and place, right budget, right team, and all that, it just hasn't quite happened. So I've actually expanded into theatre, a little bit of film and all that, and also other aspects of game dev. So I've done like consultation work, and I've done producer work. So producer as in like I manage spreadsheets and I try to break down tasks for the team, as opposed to a music producer who produces beats, you know, very, very different. I keep getting confused as well. Just like, the maker of beats or spreadsheets.
I like the maker of beats and spreadsheets. It's funny you say that, because I was talking to Sophie Knowles recently, and as a lead artist, she has a very similar role in that it's creative, but it's also managerial, and it's about, you know, getting those tasks done. And it isn't always about being the concept artist, who of course gets all the attention and praise, because we love seeing the concept, we love seeing what's possible. And I think maybe there's a parallel there with audio and composition. I know also that people in your position wear many hats. I've probably been cast in games more by a composer than I ever have done a casting director.
Really?
Because that's the way our industry works, and especially with indies, they go sound, actors sound, so composer will find actors. Great. Okay, off you go. So, you know, a part of the reason I do this as well is to show that we all have to do a bit of everything.
No, absolutely.
Which is fine, because I think we're all very curious, problem-solving types. So that's as long as it's not overwhelming, which of course a lot of the time it is. But, you know, it can be incredibly rewarding, because you find yourself in these different roles. And I think what's interesting about you there is I'm thinking, you know, you're saying all these different things you're doing, and I'm thinking Austin Wintory. He does all these different things. You know what I mean? It's got nothing to do with like fame or anything. It's if you're, I guess, a composer, you compose. You know, or Mark Choi doing theatre as well as games. You know, you compose, and in a way you've escaped being pigeonholed. Well done. I'm not sure composers get that though, in the way that actors do. Though you get, well, you're a games composer. We can't possibly see you for this TV show. So that's really wonderful. And as you know, as more people start playing this stuff live, and you know, BBC will now cover it. The Philharmonic are playing tunes. I think it's really wonderful, and I think the future's really bright for your side, at least your side of the industry.
And on the other hand, like I've also been trying to work more into like live music and events. So I actually just came back from a client gig, which is basically writing custom music for my friend's wedding. So I've now like dipped my toe into that. We did like a piano quartet thing, so one piano, three strings, and we did. I think we put like over 3 hours plus worth of music, because it was that intense and that chaotic, I guess. So yeah, I guess my next adventure now is to try to bring that more, because I really love people. I love the community. And I think live music really brings people together, and, you know, just making it like seem so alive and like pure connection, as opposed to, oh, that's nice, so then you write a little comment and then you close the laptop. Kind of thing. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on, really, is just that mostly.
That's great. And I'll pick your brains about that maybe off camera on this. I want to hear all about the wedding. I'm going to be honest. You have created quite a variety of community spaces. What would you say is your favourite?
Oh,
Trying to
that's like
find the
asking
right
who's your
words.
favorite.
Is your favorite
Oh, yeah.
child? As long as we
Yeah.
don't tell them, it's fine.
Yeah.
Surely. What's the most rewarding one? There you go. That's a different word.
Oh, I think the most rewarding ones are like the really small personal interactions I get from people. It's like the little story you just mentioned, just like, oh yeah, you like I remember you. We met like years and years ago, and like I remember that, and I'm like, oh yeah, we did. And then like years later, I just get like maybe some comments from other people, but like, hey Jade, we met years ago at this event, but you were like the first person who's like super nice to me, or like you just brought me in, and I'm like, oh,
It's true. You do have a certain reputation,
oh,
Jade. I'm sorry to tell you.
I would take it.
Yeah, no, it's a
But
good one.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's not quite my favorite community, I guess. It's more like these little personal connections I make with
Yeah.
people. But yes, big shout out to POC and Play, because it's
Yeah.
always like we try to create a safe space around it. We're not very active at this moment in time, but I think that's because everyone is burnt out because the industry TM. But it's nice to curate the community in that sense, and then just like do meetups and try to make the Discord like be alive and all
Yeah.
that. But it's really
It's a
difficult.
lot of
But
work. It's a lot of work creating
yeah,
something like that
yeah,
because it's not just a meetup once a month. You're
no,
you're
yeah,
creating a community that's 24/7, and
yeah,
then you've got to actually nurture it and police the Discord sometime, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah,
yes,
it's a lot,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Well, I look forward to it coming back. So games
I
industry, can you just
yes,
chill and then everyone won't be burnt out anymore, and then we can have more
exactly,
POC
yeah.
and play. And I love bringing friends along. They couldn't believe something
Yes,
like that existed, and they
yeah,
could be veterans or they can be newbies who are
yeah,
thinking about games. And there's no pressure. We just turn up and hang out, and there'd be a really nice talk, and people at the top of their game as well. Giving that time
yes,
up to, because it is community. It isn't like we don't have that hierarchy, or certainly among the people that will show up to something like this.
yes,
It's always
yeah,
seems very a flat hierarchy, which I love.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and trying to curate the space where we encourage people to like, share the knowledge and not gatekeep and
no,
everything. And I think that's really different from like film and TV and theater as well. Like I walk into a room, I'm just like, oh, this is very different priorities, I guess.
yeah.
But no, games is really, really special because I think I'm privileged to be in that space for a long time, and I can like actively try to nurture certain positive behaviors or shut down others. But no, it's nice.
It gives me the warm fuzzies, and
Yes,
that's all I'll say.
absolutely.
But everyone I've brought with me has a great time as well. I can give you
Yeah,
that much.
yeah.
Just to change the subject slightly, if you're going
Mhm.
to call something Asian pirate musical, you better be
Yes.
prepared to tell everyone all about it.
Oh my goodness, where to begin? I can bring up, you know what? I will bring up the synopsis because I can't remember it off the top of my
Yeah.
head. But it is, here we go. I brought it up. So, Asian Pirate Musical is an original musical featuring 5 seafaring Asian characters across 3 time periods, including 14th century Muslim diplomat Zheng He, 19th century pirate queen Sekyong, 21st century survivor Nazar, and 24th century space revolutionaries Kelling and Riang. It explores freedom, found families, and finding fun in the face of our future. So that's the synopsis. Yeah, I don't know. Okay,
Well,
pick my
where
brains.
can we go and see it? Where's the soundtrack? Can we sing this at our auditions? Can we do a
Yes.
karaoke? Like,
Oh, yes, absolutely. So the soundtrack is all available on Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that. Like, I'm very happy and pleased to say that we have an album out, and it's just like, oh, we did it. It's been very interesting to record 5 actors in, get this, Pirate Studios. We're recorded in Pirate Studios in London.
love it.
But we run everything on a shoestring budget. So we only had like the one recording booth, 5 actors to record. I don't know how we did it, but we just had to
You
like
did
hot
it.
seat it.
Yeah.
We hot seated it with the 5 actors and put everything in an album. I'm really proud of it. Yeah, it's a really, really special one because I don't have a musical theatre background at all. So this was the first time where I've properly worked with lyrics, and then obviously the notion of like, wait, this needs to be performed live on stage. So completely different. And it was nice to bring in my expertise in East and Southeast Asian music. So it's very gamelan heavy in one song in particular, and taiko drumming heavy in different areas. And then I really like strings. That strings has to be like, I guess, the glue for the whole soundtrack, because there is characters from the distant past, but then also the distant future. So I did put a bit of like chiptune-y things because those characters were really young. They're very optimistic and bright about the future. So chucked everything in, and obviously my background in just soundtracks in general was just like, okay, we had to do it like that. So that's a little bit about APM and I guess the music.
Pacific, India, Korea, so many without crossing, crossing. And that I wonder is your structure. Without you, I have begun to fracture. Oh, my honor.
How did it come apart? How did it come about? Sorry. Was it commissioned? Was it your idea? Did you write the book? What's going on?
So back in the day when I was doing game dev, I became friends with a writer called Nemo Martin. So we've been friends ever since back then. And Nemo is part of the theatre space. And then it just so happened that like they were like, I'm writing a musical theatre about Asian Pirate musical. Jay, do you want to be in? I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So that's how I got in. There are like 3 other writers and then at least 2 other composers. So I was just like, you know what, I'll be lead composer just because I have more like general industry experience. So one of the composers has works in legal actually, but has like a more of a band background. And the other person is like a theater sound art kind of person. So not quite having like a classical music background. So, you know, putting it all together and then doing it in so many different levels, because not all the actors can sight sing. So they're not, again, a whole spectrum of like, I'm just an actor who's like, I listen by hearing, and then other actors were just like, yeah, I can sight sing. So trying to like put together all of the necessary material and like the, I guess, like different fail stops for like learning essentially. So like this is the audio of the other composer just like singing the main bits, and then this is like, here's all the notations, and then we'll just put it all together. So that's how we all came about. And then for the first round, we did everything in like 2 months or something.
Wow.
We did the first, I guess, performance at the Vaults Festival like a week before lockdown, and then COVID happened. So that was really, I was so,
Oh my
so
God.
lucky.
But you got in there.
We
before
got in there.
lock, as the kids say on the
Yes,
internet.
yeah.
You got in there before the lock came in.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did it,
bless
and we're
you.
like, oh, okay. So we did like a 15-minute play or something like that, and then we worked through it all throughout COVID. So we did like weekly meetings or something like that, where we just churned out like, okay, what is the full story looking like? And then we're like, okay, now we'll cut it down. What are the character arcs? And then we just continue working on it for like a good number of years actually, and then here we are. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to the revival. I would like to go to see
we're working
that.
on something. We're working on something.
Oh.
There's something penciled in the calendar, but it's still very early days. But
Okay. Meanwhile, I've got time to go on Bandcamp, learn all the songs,
yes,
and then turn up, be obnoxious, be that person in the audience that sings along to
please
everything.
do.
Can't
And
wait.
feel free to like cosplay. You know, wear all your piratey things. Like we embrace it. We embrace it.
This is so cool. Do you know, everyone is going to want to know all about this. So if you have any clips, you can send us afterwards. We will plug them into
yes,
this.
please.
It would be
Thank you
wonderful
so
to
much.
showcase that. It's such a unique thing to be part of. I think it's wonderful.
So fun as well.
Like,
Thank you.
Talking, you know, I think we're going to jump around a lot because that is you. You do everything.
Yep.
I realised in this series of guests, 3 of them out of the 7 worked on Tales of KENZERA Zao. And that's an accident. That's just an accident. I didn't realize. But then reading the credits, like I know everyone. It's just a number, which was wonderful. So your role on that is more of an audio production role. Is that right?
Yes, I was audio producer. This was quite early days. Like again, I was very lucky during COVID because I think Melissa Phillips reached out to me during COVID, but like, hey, do you want in? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
So there was a period where like we worked together and I just helped like being producer and admin. So like putting together spreadsheets, putting together like briefs. So I worked with Nonita Desai, who was the composer for Tales of KENZERA. So like, trying to be that intermediary person between like, okay, this is like full-time studio work. And then Nonita was a freelancer. So, was just like, okay, what do you need? You need narrative briefs. Okay, I went to the Wow, I didn't actually physically walk, but just like I clicked on the Slack channel, be like, hey, narrative team, like like what's the update with the story? Because as an actor as well and as composers, we need to get a really solid idea of like where the story is going over, the overarching story, and then we can pepper in like where like build ups and like pauses and points where stuff needs to happen.
Generally give our best work. That's the way I put it.
Exactly.
If you tell me stuff, I don't have to waste time in an expensive Soho studio asking questions. Tell me in advance. It's all good. That's really interesting. So how was it pitched to you? Because it's a really fascinating game and I've never seen anything like it before. So how was Zao pitched to you?
Well, I guess I can talk about this now because it's already out now. But it was pitched as like Afrofuturistic Metroidvania, and I'm like, ooh, really haven't heard of that. The term specifically Afro and then Afrofuturistic. I'm like, ooh, like again, haven't seen it really in like the game dev space at all. So I was so excited, and like obviously working with Anita was like perfect for that because obviously I have more like East and Southeast Asian music background, but I guess the whole team and everyone were like really sensitive to like the original cultures and like trying to be like really respectful to it and trying to bring out the best elements of it and putting it all together. So it was just like. It was just a bit like, ooh, okay, I'm very lucky to get a full-time job doing COVID, and then, ooh, I'm working on a cool project, so win-win.
and for idiots like me, what does audio producer mean in this context? Is it more of a managerial thing, or do you get to be creative as well?
More managerial. So basically, I was the glue that kind of like helped hold the audio team together. So I think at one point we got an audio lead called Rob Brown. So I was just like, hey, Rob, what do you need? I'm like, okay, can you populate this document? Can you help me get the materials from narrative? Can you figure out what is happening with design? Because I need to know what XYZ is happening. Or like, can you check in with the animation team? Have they finished? Because we can't do audio work to an animation that hasn't been locked, It's that little thing. So I did all of that. And then just like putting everything down into like tasks and condensing it down into like, okay, we can realistically handle XYZ tasks for this particular milestone, and then doing it like that in a way. And then just generally helping out wherever I can. It was, that kind of role.
And it was so well received, and it won the BAFTA for what was it? Beyond Entertainment, which I've judged on in the past, and I love that. I was there when it was Chia. I presented it to them. I was on the bloody panel, and then I gave it to them because they were saying to me, and they gave me the envelope, and they were like, we know you're not supposed to look at it before, but you might want to because of the pronunciation. And I was like, I know what's one. I know what's one. I mean, I was like, no, I'm good. I didn't say Tachia, but God, that game was. But I think it was the right. I'm glad it was in that category. I think it was. It was so smart. And what did you make of the reception?
I think it was really heartwarming, just because I'm like, Oh, I contributed to it and people like it. It was that again like warm fuzzy feelings
Yeah.
where I did a thing, people like it, and as well because the game was like really unique in its genre already, and then
Yeah.
like just hearing like people who you don't really hear giving feedback or their thoughts in this particular game dev space, they're like, oh, this game really meant a lot to me. Or like, oh, like my parents talked about these particular creatures or folklore, and then like it's just like, yeah, this is really nice because I again, this is what I love about games is that there's really no barriers to like if you want to do a game about XYZ, you can do it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, just do it. And it's really easy to just well, probably easier compared to film because, just make a itch.io account, you know, put your game on there.
Yeah. That's
Steam
fair.
is a little bit more like finicky, but you can, and it's like not like okay, it's not like film where like okay, you got the film, you either put it on YouTube or you try to go to all of these festivals and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just,
I think that's a
yeah,
really good tip for
yeah,
anyone that's getting started or is a bit nervous about maybe being a
yeah,
solo dev or having no budget. In that, the amount of biographical games on itch
yes,
is just so encouraging, and specificity is the soul of narrative, and that's why that game rose to the top. It wasn't
yeah,
trying to second guess. It certainly wasn't trying to be Black Panther, even though you could say, oh, Afrofuture. I went to a tech conference that came out about 3 months before that film did, and it was called Afro Tech Fest. And they did it in
oh,
East London,
nice,
and it was
yeah,
all about Black folks in London creating their own utopia in tech.
nice.
It was a nicely curated weekend. The food was so good.
Oh, they had food there. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, yeah. One day, African stuff and the Caribbean stuff. It was just, and it was such a wonderful celebration. And then knowing that, weirdly, that this sort of utopian Black tech future was coming in the form of Wakanda. It was
Nice.
just this weird
Nice.
timing, and like you said, so I can think of that. I think of Wakanda, and then I also think of this game as well. And those are the three. And
Yes.
I just think it's just really wonderful, and I want to see more stuff in that genre. And like I said, I'm used to more Greco-Roman pantheons, even
Yeah,
Egyptian,
yeah.
and so discovering, when
Yes.
I growing up in Tottenham, North London, very Afro-Caribbean, I'm half Jamaican. It was Anansi stories because
Oh,
those made their
yeah.
way over to the Caribbean, but I didn't really know anything about the other gods or anything, and it's just really interesting seeing those parallels and the way that they were used to tell those stories. And I've been talking about mythology
Yeah.
a lot recently, and
Yeah.
why we keep telling those myths in different ways, of course, because it's all about what's useful to us. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was just very smart, very well thought out, and I'll grill a bit about it when I see it.
Please do. Please do.
Because that colon promises other games. That's what Tales of KENZERA. Someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what that's saying to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So I'm going to ask him about it. He won't tell me, but I'll ask him anyway. And
Keep
then,
asking.
yeah, absolutely. And then I just wanted to talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows as well.
Oh, yes,
Tell
yes.
me all about it. What did you do on it?
So I've been credited under special thanks, which it's fine. I'm just like I did the whole meme of going like, was that Leonardo DiCaprio meme? Where
Caprio.
just like, yeah, just like pointing at the TV like on the sofa. But yeah, no, it was really really nice. I think what was it? I think I was judging at the Ivor Novello Awards, and my plus one was running really, really late because stuff happened, and it was still like at the tail end of COVID, so they were probably like panicking and all that. So I remember the flight was there, so Joe and Alexis, and we just started chatting at the fancy dinner table, and I thought like, okay, no, that was nice. And then fast forward a few years later, I just got a message from Joe saying, hey, we want to pick your brains about something, and then got sent the back then like all the NDAs and all that, and I was just like, ooh, that's so cool. Yes, I feel so like blessed that they've asked me to come and help on this like big game. Um, but essentially, what I did for that was just doing some consultation work about Japanese music and all that. So it was literally a lunch meeting, and I just splurged about the history of Japanese music, how it differs in different prefectures, um, the evolution of the Japanese music instruments from China, because they all had the same like DNA and all that. And then I just said like, okay, Japanese music composition kind of like works like this. Here's some rhythms from Japanese taiko drumming, but like just be aware that there's like some kind of, some dojos and some schools may feel a bit funny if you use specific rhythms, but compositional wise, it works like this. Here's a list of musicians based in London that can probably record. There you go.
So you just did everything, is what I'm hearing. you did it. You just solved it for them. I love that.
Probably,
Question is, did they listen to you? And what was it like hearing that soundtrack back? Once it was all out?
It's like the soundtrack is amazing. And then again, like I looked at the credits list and I'm like, wait, I know like a good bunch of the musicians.
These are the people I suggested.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was just like,
that's
that,
really
again,
nice.
Again, that's nice. So I'm very happy to be credited and be like, I did a thing.
You did a good thing. You did a good thing.
Yeah,
and judging all these awards, Jade, it's like people trust your judgment and stuff.
I will be honest though, I still get like 100% imposter syndrome, just because I think this, where like you're like, I've been in the industry for a long while. Sometimes a good bunch of projects either die or they're in stasis or whatever, and then you're like, I have a really big gap in my project CV, but I still get invited, so I guess I'll continue being invited and going to things.
You're definitely part of this. I mean, I saw it on the BAFTA Discord when, there's so many people have been laid off, and it feels like a particularly British thing, because some of them were like, well, should I even be a member anymore? And it's like, you don't stop. But as a freelancer, I'm like, you don't. Otherwise, I wouldn't go to anything, if I'm not working that day.
Yeah,
and I think that's sad when people, feel like they, I don't know, still need to prove their worth. It's a very precarious industry, and the areas we're in do tend to be a bit more freelance. So it wasn't from the composers; it was the regular devs who are used to a salary were saying all this, and it was like, oh no, honey, it'll come around, but it might be some time. But it was. I'm glad we have that community and we can go to that space, and people are like no, and then sometimes they'll get offered a job because they turned up and they're easy to work with. So it'll be fine. But I'm just really grateful we have that, because like you said, during COVID, obviously all the in real life meetups just died off, and then a lot of them just never came back again. So this whole series, people are going to hear me saying BAFTA. For a lot of us in London, that is it. That's the one meetup we have now. There used to be tons. And the other thing is BAFTA is also a charitable organisation.
Yes.
I think among the different arms of BAFTA, we're the only one that get a social. I don't think film and TV get one. Their membership is a lot bigger.
Yeah,
they don't get that monthly social. They don't get it.
I see it pop up like occasionally, but it's not as regular as ours.
No, it's not. That's because they're all related to each other. They don't need an in-person meetup. Whoops, did I say that out loud? But no, we haven't quite had the nepotism yet. I think it will come, but I think we at least need a generation for those babies being born now to grow up and then claim their parents' jobs. But I think that really contributes. I don't think we're just special unicorns. It's just a newer industry where we are socializing more than we used to. So it's allowing at least. I was going to say. No, it's got more meritocracy than film and TV. It just does. I mean, it just does. Right now, of course, there's going to be favoritism and that, but they haven't got the nephews and nieces to employ in those top spots now. It's coming, but at the moment, I'm doing very well out of not being related to anyone. So I'm just going to ride that wave while it still lasts. So talking about community, of course, you've helped bring so many people into this and welcome them in and nurture talent that's already here. But who looks after you? Who's in your village?
Oh my gosh. I think everyone to a certain degree, because, game dev is a weird industry to work in. Like, once you've built a community, we all we're just like, you do like the nod to each other, be like, you good?
I'll see you in a minute. And then you don't see them for another month. Yeah. No,
but I think, just, shout out to I guess the game audio community, because audio is usually at the end of the production cycle, so I guess we're just especially keen where we look after each other, and we're very proactive. We're just like, Okay, guess we'll do our own meetup. Okay, guess we'll do our own conference kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to the game audio community. And I think like everything is reciprocal. Like if you put out like the good gestures, the good karmas, the positiveness, it will just all, eventually come back to you. So yeah, I don't
I
know,
think
just
that's
like,
true.
yeah,
I think that's
everyone
true.
really.
And like, again, the more
Yeah.
people I speak to on this, of course, yes, we do know each other, but it's a lot of the stories are like 7 years ago, I met this person. And then
Yeah,
last year we started, and it just takes, film is the same. It takes that long at the
Yes.
time. Or for you to just be in the right position to be able to employ that person that you really want to work with. And it takes time. There's a lot of newbie questions always like, how do I skip those 7 years? And it's like, no,
can't.
that's the really important bit is nurturing those friendships and trust, because this is all out.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky in Fading Echo. There's no NDA. I see the Discord. It doesn't end. They are living and breathing this game. They've been working on it for years. I'm coming in at the end because audio, and just the passion is there, and they seem very happy and honest with each other. And it is a community. I know we say like I've come to work. I'm not here to make friends, but you might as well like the people that you work with. I just don't think that should be such an alien concept. But, if we are creating it ourselves, and we're definitely creating these communities ourselves, and then people go on to form studios.
Yeah, exactly.
and I think there's a reason why I know so many people on Tales of KENZERA, they are that community that went, let's go form a studio. So it's just really encouraging for future, considering latest news about certain acquisitions and endless firings and all of that actually, people who've come from that will take the best of it as well and leave the worst behind. So it's just amazing. And again, even if that's a lot, you can make a half-hour story or something. If you really have something to say, you don't need that huge budget. Or there are amazing things we can do in this medium.
Exactly. And it's just like there's so much content out there on the internet. Is it Godot is like probably free. There's like a free version of Unity, Twine, and there's like even visual novels. Like there is is it Ren'Py? It's free. Just like stuff is there basically. You just got to do it. Yeah.
So what's a question that you wish someone would ask you? And I think I really want you to answer that because you have so many hats, so many projects going on. What would you like to talk about more?
Yeah, I think the advice I'll give to myself from like 10 years ago or something is to probably invest in more things that will look after yourself for future. So that could be either finances or mental health. I think a lot of us in this industry suffer from burnout and everything. The hustle culture is so intense and ridiculous at some times. So just investing in like your health and well-being really, because I didn't realize this, but you can burn out from the hustle, and it's like, oh yeah, now I'm really stuck, aren't I?
And that's the thing of burnout, isn't it? It's so insidious.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to realize that it isn't just you don't have time to do the hobbies. You don't want to do them. You don't want to do them because you resent that time, or in my case, if you have to earn the rest. Like you did though, you lived. You must no, and it's again wonderful about whether it's online or in person communities, as we can go. Is this normal? And everyone goes. I mean, it's common. It's not normal at all, but we're all going through it. Again, sometimes you think, oh, well, if I was just a bit tougher, or, I wasn't. Especially as an actor, it's always very, if you're not tough enough, someone else will come and they'll just take your career off you, and you're like, okay. Do that, and you're never going to be the same as me. And it's the same with a composer as well. We had such unique prints with our art. I guess as soon as you realize that, you can just take the foot off the pedal. But the amount of times you think, oh well, if I cancelled a holiday recently because some work came in a big audition, and it's like, do I want to get that? Yes, I want to get that job. Most of the time I just go on the holiday, but it was just I think. I was a working actor for a couple of weeks. It was really strange. I was like, every day I was in a studio doing something different projects. They all just happened to be on that same week and a half. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And of course, it was the week I wanted to go on holiday, and it was just one of those things.
No.
But I am going next week after we do village, so I'm really happy about
good.
that.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Lanzarote in the Canary Islands. Yeah, with my mother and my partner. And my mother's still getting her head around all-inclusive. She's like, how much money do I bring? I was like, oh, honey, you don't need money. Where we're going. Yes, but for alcohol, I was like, you'll be fine. You're a cheap date. You're not even going to drink that much, even if they did charge. She's just like, but surely no, mother. It is all paid for. So for winter sun, we would have gone somewhere a little more north if it was this week. But, compromise. But you know what? I don't regret it at all because, I'm still getting it. But those are the sort of decisions you have to make sometimes. And it's, or like, I would have gone on the holiday and been answering emails in a really salty way.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have just been answering emails anyway, or I would have done something remote and I wouldn't have enjoyed my holiday. So it's little things like that. And you have to go, is this a habit of mine or is this a one-off? Because if it's a habit, then you've got to intervene. But it was weirdly flattering.
Amazing.
Oh, okay, all right. So that was great. I think that leads on to the last question I have for you before we go to audience questions. How can someone in your role, and by your role I mean, I guess, freelance, better advocate for themselves?
Advice for freelancers and people like just starting out. I think if you can try to get a bit more savvy with the biz dev stuff. When you're freelancing, you are really not sure when the next gig is going to come. So get a little bit more savvy with the biz dev stuff. Try to I probably prioritize all the little strands of passive income. So if you are a composer, then you're like, okay, can you be a composer assistant? Can you make audio packs, music packs, sound effects packs? Can you do orchestration arrangement for other composers? And just build it all that up. It'll be disheartening in the beginning because you're like, cool, you made 12p in 3 years. But you need something to keep upskilling your craft. You need to keep investing in this little little revenue streams and doing it like that. So I probably focus more on that now because now that 10 plus years on, I'm like, I don't really have a lot. And then things are getting expensive and you're like, ooh boy, yeah. So I'll probably advice on that, if that makes sense.
That's great advice. Yeah, I think if I was starting out, even a performer, I'm sort of passing that through, and it is people just want to do the big AAA, and that will take care of everything. And I was talking to Dave Jones earlier about how really there isn't that much difference in how we're paid for AAA versus micro indie. There really isn't that much. We're pretty cheap.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, publicly, Equity, our actors union, published some hourly rates a few years ago, which because of our very restrictive laws in the UK don't hold any weight legally. They're just a nice guide, but there isn't that much difference between an hourly rate between all these different budgets of games. So know your worth, I think, is one. But it's when you talk about self-advocacy, really it's boundaries, isn't it, and healthy relationships. And I think it's hard to say no. I mean, I have an actor's agent. She's the bad guy. What people don't realize is I'm the bad guy. She actually makes it sound a lot nicer than what I've just told her. A lot nicer. So when occasionally, and it's rarely, people, I've been with her 13 years, occasionally someone will say, your agent's tone on that email, which is always funny when they don't have a problem with what she said. It's just the way that she said it. And I've actually told one person, I told her to say that, and she sugarcoated it big time. So if you got a problem with her... But oh look, what a surprise. Someone was trying to rip me off and now they're upset I stood up for myself. And I think, if you're representing yourself, that's always, getting paid on time or within the agreed period. That's really rough when you represent yourself. And I think, the more you can find out the biz side, we're all about the so-called glamour of the respective jobs we're in, which of course aren't glamorous at all. But what we are famous for, what we show, that moment on the red carpet, or, this tears in rain, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is tears in rain. You know, all of us have had a long ramp up before we've got going, and you know, we do it because we love storytelling in the different ways we do it. But yeah, it's those boundaries and having that team around, even if it's employees. You know, it doesn't have to just be friends, but build that team around you. You know, I'm finding now that I'm a little bit more in demand than I was, and so I have a team, and they're wonderful. They have my back, and it's friendly. We're not friends, but it's so friendly. You know, it's so straightforward, and you can do this yourself. You know, you don't need to be lucky enough to land in the right company. Make it yourself. And I think we said that in so many different ways in this chat we've had. Whether it's making your own game, but also building that team, the people you work with, the people you advocate for. Like, you do have some control in this. And I think
absolutely,
particularly now with flails wildly, with all this going on, like any sort of semblance of control and creating our own utopia, I think is very welcome. So thank you for your answer. That was fantastic. Thank you.
No, it's all good. And if you're stuck, get used to like asking for help and just be like, hey, I don't understand the biz dev side, or like, hey, I'm looking for a creative friendly accountant or something. Like, just ask. Like,
and I think so many, myself including, are so scared of asking for help. It's seen as like, I guess, incompetence, or I should know this. I should, but there's nothing wrong. But then I find that at social, you know, you get chatting away, and then I do need an accountant. Can you recommend? You know, and
exactly.
It's all good. So I'm going to move on to audience questions. I think at the moment, you have the most questions of everyone that we've got. People really want to find out about you. So.
Okay.
So this is really cool. So Jazz M. Moore says, do you ever make music in your dreams? And if so, have you used it in anything?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have a really funny story to tell. So I actually did dream at one point where I woke up and I'm like, oh, that was a really good tune. Instantly forgot about it like 2 seconds later though. But I remember the whole waking up and go like, wow, I'm like generally moved by whatever was concocted in my head. But then I instantly forgot about it like 2 seconds later. I was like, I think what I can take away from that is that whatever happened in my brain subconsciously, it made a huge impact on me. And I still actually get that when I re-listen to like quite of my old work sometimes. I'm like, I felt something. Okay, I guess it still has something, so that's okay.
Oh, Jade, really? For shame. Still got it.
Hey, we were talking about advocating for yourself, right? So that's my little self-advocacy.
I'm saying you don't you should know that by now. Pretty good. I think you know what you're doing at this point. But I think my partner is a composer as well. Has woken up knowing what to write next, having slept on it. It's not quite the same. It's not dreaming it, but it's like, you know, it's always when you're in the shower or on the bus. That's when it's a diffuse brain thing, isn't it? It's just letting it percolate through the brain. It makes all these connections it couldn't make when you were concentrating on it.
Yes,
it's a bit like study tips, isn't it? You study intensely and then you take a break because that's when it sinks in. Yes, and I think when I saw that question, I thought it was rather wonderful, actually. If only we could write down the symphonies that we dreamed about.
Yeah, no, I think for me, just like, my barrier would be like, I don't know enough like music theory, or like had I gone through like maybe more formal compositional class or something, or orchestration classes, maybe whatever it is I could hear, I could just like, you know, just like hand gestures, head to paper. Mozart it. But no, unfortunately, I'm not that person. But what I can say is just that I'm the person that feels, and if I can feel it, if I can make the audience feel it, then I'm like, okay, that's the
job. That's literally the job, and you've done it. So that's great to hear. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next question. Selena Price asks, when composing Assassin's Creed Shadows, was there anything in particular in the game that helped you choose the instrument that you would use? So we've established you didn't compose it.
I didn't.
But you did suggest instruments.
Yes. So I think at the end I suggested a bunch of people, and knowing Assassin's Creed and the audio palette of Assassin's Creed in general is that they're not quite straightforward of like, we'll just have a lovely symphonic orchestra of whatever. It's very morphed. It's like a bit sci-fi. It's a bit fatalistic in elements. So there's a lot of like weird stuff in this soup of storytelling. So I know that the composers were specifically asking for, in a way, like non-classical composers or non-classical musicians, because the kind of the feedback that I got was just like, some musicians that were like, we can't do anything until you put sheet music in front of us and then we can play. And then other musicians, they can be like, oh no, I'm just here to vibe and jam, give me a color, give me like an image, and then I'll just do some weird stuff. So yeah, I guess the musicians I kind of recommended, I've seen them performed like hundreds of millions of times, because when you are specializing in I guess an ethnic instrument of some sort, then you're like, okay, oh, our group is now doing World Culture Day in blah, or a cultural event at blah. Then you're like, okay, you get a sense of like what they can do. So yeah, I just suggested a group of musicians where I felt like, yeah, they'll be up for experimenting with like weird shit. Oh, sorry, I swore. They'll
You're
be up
allowed
for.
to. I don't care.
Oh, thank you.
It's
So
my
okay,
show.
thank you.
You may
So,
swear.
yeah. These musicians, they're up for experimenting with like weird sounds and all that. So I kind of like curated a list in my brain and just passed them on. So yeah, not quite the same, but it was more like
Yeah.
finding the right people with the right, I guess, what's the term? I don't know, synergy.
Yeah. That's
Yep, the
that's a
right
huge
synergy. Yeah,
skill to be able to
yeah,
produce,
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And again, like anything we can do to demystify the idea that you sort of just wake up one day and you know exactly how it works,
Yes.
and you just write a list and it's done, and yeah,
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Moving on, Admo asks, you make such a vast variety of music. How do you keep your creative wells filled?
Ooh, I think my first priority is always catch up with friends. Because I tap into so many different bits of community and industry work, so naturally there's little different pockets of friendship groups within. So that's one way I keep my well filled, is just keeping up to date with all of these little different pockets of friends and different circles of musicians, I guess. So that's one. And the second is to just absorb anything creative. So like, if say like I specialize in East and Southeast Asian music, okay. Like, I don't just go to a concert, I go to a cultural event. I go to this weird gigs where like, oh, this band from Korea is doing a thing at the Royal Festival Hall. And it's like, that's cool because they're doing some weird experimental funk thing with ethnic instruments. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
It's all of those, like, again, like smaller pockets of unusual meetings and gatherings
Yeah,
of things where like, oh, it's a traditional thing meeting a modern thing and then putting it all together
yeah.
and seeing what happens. So yeah, and that applies to film and music as well. Like, I don't just listen to game soundtracks, even though that's like 98% of my like music listening diet. But it's, just going to the weird concerts. Like my friend who's like a big metalhead was just like, do you want to go and see Sun O in the Barbican Center? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that was. And then I looked it up with just like drone metal thing, and it was such an experience. So yeah, just doing all of that, and then also learning about the actual instruments as well. Like, I think next month I'll be in Thailand for a conference, and then in Japan for a taiko drumming workshop. So I'm like, yeah, that's
Oh,
that's the
wow.
yeah. So I'm gonna be in Japan for like 2 weeks,
So
and just like,
cool.
I'm literally going to a dojo. I'm
You're
gonna
going to
like
hit some drums.
I'm gonna hit some drums. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm just gonna go there and embrace it, and like embrace the journey as well. We're just like,
Oh,
it's all of that. So
yeah.
just, yeah, just, but friends is number one as well.
That's kind of what makes you an artist, though, Jade, is that like you
Oh,
enjoy all of it and it's all valuable
yeah.
and it's about culture
Yes.
and not just like what you can grab from here and like,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Jake Watt 123 asks, what do you do on a day when you have no desire to work on music, but you have to?
I'll probably be very anxious and I'll just power through it. So I did this really recently for my friend's wedding, where it's just like, I was in the composer cave for like 2+ months, and I'm like, just got to get it done. So I just literally forced myself to do it. And then I tried to like, again, focus myself on just like, this is a client work. I'm getting paid to do this. Also the friendship guilt of like, okay, this is my close friend kind of thing. I can't just like,
That's the pressure.
Yeah, that is the pressure. Just
And a
like
wedding date.
Yeah, exactly. I getting paid, client work. This is my friend. This is for her wedding.
Get on with it.
Yeah. It's all of that. But like just pace yourselves, and like if you just need to lock yourself in your room for like 2 months, you just might have to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But then you always need to like keep an eye out on the, like, at the end. Like at the end you have an amazing buffed up portfolio, because we worked on 3+ hours worth of music. You now have like that experience to look forward to, because this wedding was set in Morocco as well. It's not homegrown. It was a destiny wedding thing. So just like, okay, I've no idea what to expect when I go to Morocco, how to deal with the Moroccan culture and the locals. Like, so just keeping focused on like the end goal and what you learn after that. So, and then after that, once you get started, the starting part is the hardest bit. Once you get started, then you're like, I've written like a whole bunch of sheet music now. Haven't done that in a while. I'm learning. Yay. Be kind to yourself as well, that you've learned.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I've had the advice given to writers and like regular narrative writers, and I don't know if it's the same with composition at all, because I don't know if you're waiting for inspiration or you're just doing the thing. But I know that writers are advised to just write something every day, and I think that's a great tip when you get to that commission that you're out of water on, or you're feeling dry. You've just got the habit, and that's when the craft comes in. So you're not trying to go, work out the psychological reason that you're putting this off. Like, it's just a task that needs to be done. And if that is the distracting thought, then it works, right?
No, it does get easier.
You don't strike me as a procrastinator, though. So,
I put the pro in procrastination.
Oh, you do? Oh, interesting. Okay, well, I'm glad that question was asked. We've got similar-ish ones from the next person, but I'll split them up because I think it requires a bit of thought. So the Portistics asks, what strategies do you use when composing new melodies?
Okay, I can definitely break this down. So it depends on the final outcome. So like, is this going to be performed live afterwards? Am I working with East and Southeast Asian instruments, or is this like a piano solo? Like, go for it. So the way that I approach it is that it depends on which lens I'm looking at. So for example, like Asian Pirate Musical, I was really struggling with some elements of writing it, just because I wasn't too sure about maybe the character arc and like what the character's feeling in that particular moment. So I'm like, okay, let's go down to basics. And what am I working with? I'm like, okay, on a spectrum of like normal orchestration stuff to, I guess, Asian. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, like normal and Asian, and then I can like figure it out on the sliding scale. So I'm like, okay, shall I start it off with normal and then ramp it up to Asian? By that is like, okay, how much Asian instruments can I put in? How much Asian compositional technique can I put in, which wouldn't alienate the audience, and then I'll do it that way. So then I just tend to like flip between the two lenses, I would say, and say like, okay, now I'm at this part of the song where the Asian flutes needs to like come in a little bit more, and I'm like, okay, never played an Asian flute. I'm gonna like have a bit of a research, and then I really look at the scales. Okay, the scales is out because they're using scales that don't exist on the Western scale.
Music. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It sounded a little bit out of tune, and
but it's not, because it's completely cultural.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I can't do that. Okay, then what about performance technique? Then that's when like, okay, let's go down that route, and then I try to add the performance technique into the song, and then I kind of weave it in that way. So that's how I generally do that in terms of like working with maybe more ethnic instruments. In terms of melody, it also, the other way I look at it is feel. So I'm like, okay, is this a sad song? Then I listen to a bunch of sad soundtrack music, and then I try to play it, because when you overthink it, I think that's when all the barriers, psychological barriers, keep popping up. So if I try to learn this particular song that I know that's the kind of feeling I want to get, I try to learn it on the piano, and then I start to let the mind wander, and then I just play around with the melody and the chord progressions on the piano, and then that's how I do it as well, where I'm just like, okay, just don't fight it, just let your fingers do the thing, and then naturally you'll be like, okay, I figured it out, now I need to figure out the next chord progression, and I go from there. So yeah, two angles, two approaches.
Amazing. I've never heard someone explain composition like that before in such an easy to understand way, because I watch my
thank you.
partner do the magic, and I don't know how that's happened, and I'm sure they give you a completely different answer, but it's just great to hear it articulated, because I think the same with acting as well. Is like a lot of it is it's invisible, isn't it? The people just experience the finished product and think it kind of just exists as it is, and everyone has a different way of approaching it. I mean, I think you've answered the next question in part, but I'll give it to you anyway, which was same person. The Portistics asks, when a new song comes to mind, what do you compose first, the accompaniments or the melody?
Oh, neither. I think.
Yeah, I figured it
was the feeling.
Yeah,
it was the feeling. If it's a very specific feeling, and then I'll either bring the instruments and the melody in to guide it towards that end goal feeling. Yeah.
So just to finish, we have a little bit of a wild card question, and I'm going to ask you to go along
Surprise
with me
me
on this because I'm just as confused too. But I have thoughts, but I will let you listen to this.
Okay.
G Alcantara 7 says, "Hello Jade, can you please do more Carlac content? Love her. It's my favourite character."
Huh?
I get the feeling this person thinks that you're Carlac. So the only way I can interpret that is, would you like to create some Carlac content in the form of maybe a small impression just to keep this person happy?
Oh my gosh. I think this is the one time I will probably refuse, because I don't know how it's gonna go.
I have no idea where this came in, and I'm going, do we ask it? No, you should ask it anyway.
Yeah, ask it anyway. But saying that,
unless you are making Carlac content and you just forgot to mention it, because that sounds pretty rad.
I'm not at the moment, but I can. Okay,
I think there's an audience for it, an audience of one.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a wild card back and be like, okay, what? I like doing arrangements. Shall I do like a voice or vocal arrangement with you, Sam, and then see what will happen?
Let's do it. All right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking like maybe it could be a dubstep thing. I don't know. Lo-fi hip hop thing. And
I wouldn't think about it too much. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let it simmer in my brain for a bit, and then like at 2 a.m, Sam, I'll probably like text him like,
you'll
hey,
be like, no, they had something. They were right.
yeah.
Well, Jade, on that bombshell, we're going to end there. Thank you so much for joining us today on It Takes a Village.
Sam.
It was an absolutely fascinating talk with you. I've learned so much I've known you for years, and I've learned so much about you today, and I know the audiences are going to love it. Where can we find you online?
JD Wasabi is my handle for all my online presence. Apart from TikTok, someone stole my name on TikTok. So TikTok is the real JD Wasabi, I think. But
nice.
But yeah, no, feel free to connect with me or there. TikTok probably the least. I just open it on occasion, be like, okay, friends are doing stuff. But yeah, Instagram, Blue Sky, LinkedIn. My website is www.jdwasabi.com. So feel free to drop me an email. I think a link is in there somewhere.
Amazing.
Yeah, happy to chat.
Thank you. And is there anything that you would like to promote at this point? Are you able to?
Oh, yes. Asian Pirate Musical as well. I think, yes. Yes. I think you know what? Let me quickly find it. I think the handle is just Asian Pirate Muzz.
Okay.
If not, we have a WordPress site. I will send you the links later.
And we'll put it up on the screen. It'll be very cool. Yeah. Hopefully, if you Google it, it'll come up with all the stuff. But Bandcamp is a good place to start, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. Like, please fund our little musical thing, and it's really appreciated.
Well, thank you for joining us today. It's been a
Thank
long
you.
time coming to welcome you into the village.
Yes.
And thank you for making the time. And as I said, people are going to love this. So can't wait for you to bump into you at a thing. Probably one that you've put together yourself. So yeah, thanks again. And
thank you so much.
And join us next time on the next episode of It Takes a Village. Can't wait to see you there.